2012, we started to isolate wild yeast from our vineyards. And we had a woman, Annie Sweat-Cassou, come from France, and she asked me if we'd like to do this, and I said, sure. We pick in them at night as well. We don't start at the coldest. We feel the coldest part of the night or the morning because we're out there, but we've been out since 3 o'clock. So we pick from 3 until 9. So at least we finish the same time that you do. Yeah. But so I marked areas, and she would collect samples from areas the day that block was being picked. She started out with 50 Ziploc baggie samples. And they were behind my first office at Opus in a storage room, and it was very warm there, so they took off. And of the 50, we had a criteria: if the VAs above a certain number, or the residual sugars above a certain number after X number of days, they were eliminated. So we eliminated 35. We had 15 that passed that test, and then we tasted them, and we liked 6 of them. So that was 2012. We spent the rest of that, 12 into 13, cleaning them up, and we brought in 12 tons of fruit in 13, and same fruit, same grapes, divided them up in 6 2-ton fermenters, and then inoculated with these wild yeast that we hoped they would be wild yeast, and then sent off the samples to a micro lab to see if they were truly wild. We probably should have done that before we even started but we got other things going on. So we sent them off, and when the results came back, we found we had 2 wolves, 3 coyotes, and a dog. So the wolves were pure wild yeast. I mean, they were wild yeast. The coyotes had a allele that they shared in common with some commercial yeast, and then the dog was a commercial yeast from the Rhone. And I was really disappointed with the coyotes and I said this to Anais, and she said, Michael, they're still wild because you have more in common as a human with a chimpanzee as this yeast has with they have less in common than you do with a chimpanzee with this commercial yeast. And so we named them all after animals. The wolf was what I said to you earlier, and then the second wolf was funky. It had some swampy, kind of barnyard, but not Brett type aromas, and so and I like to just not throw something out right away. So we kept checking it, and pretty soon the odors became aromas, and the mouthfeel was great. So. That we named after Anais. Her name is Annie Sweat-Cassou. I took the C from Cassou and put it in front of Huet. Chouette, it's an owl. So we had another animal. The coyote, we isolated with a piece of Scotch tape off the sappy part of an oak tree, a yeast which we call, of course, the squirrel, because it came from an oak tree.